Danny Alvarez with Behind the Gloves here with the one and only Coach Larry Wade. Coach, here for the Terence Crawford, Shawn Porter press conference. Just talk to us about the meaning of this fight. You guys have been in, it seems like, all the top welterweight fights. Another title opportunity, Shawn already being two-time. What's it mean to you to be a part of the team and, you know, to Shawn to have another great opportunity?
Man, first of all, it's an honor and a blessing for me. I can't begin to tell you how honored I am to be here, but at the same time, I never take it for granted. I know that it's an opportunity for anyone, so I put 150% effort into what I do. And it's different for Shawn because I started this journey out with Shawn. And this gives us another opportunity to win another world title. And I can promise you, this is a fight Shawn has wanted for a couple of years, and now he has it.
I mean, you've worked strength and conditioning with some of the biggest names and best champions out there in the world. Talk to us about this camp. You know, obviously, you've had the big fight, like I said, you know, Errol Spence. I mean, just all the top welterweights. Broner, Berto, yep. Granado's just wars, yep. Ugas. You know, Thurman. Keith Thurman, what has to be done differently in this camp on your end, on the strength and conditioning side, to make sure to be able to keep up with the dog like Terence Crawford that he is?
Yeah, Terence is clearly an amazing athlete, and like you said, a dog. You know, I honestly want to see how Terence fares with a guy who brings it the way Shawn brings it, because in my opinion, he hasn't been in a ring with a guy that brings it at the caliber or level that Shawn brings it at. And yes, I do expect Bud to step up, but I can promise you, whatever level Bud goes to, Shawn's going to have another level. That's the way it's built. That's the way we do it, and that's the way it has to happen. So I expect Shawn to do a lot of great things in this camp. We're already showing great signs of that happening. As you can tell, he came in with his shirt off on purpose, right, just so he can show people that he's been working, and he has. So he's not taking that fight lightly by any means, and he's ready to get it done.
Now let's talk about you, and you know, we were just talking about it off camera. You know, a 30-day span, you have 3 main event pay-per-views, yeah, and 3 of the biggest fights of the year, yeah, right? November the 6th, right here in this very building, the MGM Grand Garden Arena, Canelo Alvarez, yep, with your super middleweight champion, Caleb Plant.
That's it.
You know, Canelo, I feel like in the eyes of everyone, if not most, is, you know, pound for pound, you know, top 1, top 3, if anything. What does that mean, you know, for you guys to get this very well-deserved opportunity for undisputed for all the belts at 168?
Yep. It's an honor. I'm grateful to be part of that team. Caleb is an amazing person and an amazing fighter, and his whole team is actually amazing. I'm grateful that they allow me to be in that camp and to be part of his development. I've been with Caleb now 4 years, and we've been able to see development over those 4 years. And as far as Canelo is concerned, you know, Canelo's a great fighter, not taking anything away from him, but you can't win a fight in the court of public opinion. The only way you win that fight is in the ring. So, you know, people can think what they want to think. He's going to have to prove it that night that he's better. And that's what it really boils down to. So Caleb Plant has already shown me, and I see him every day, that he's prepared and ready for this fight. And Canelo going to have his hands full that night, I can promise you.
Do you feel that Caleb Plant isn't getting his due credit, isn't getting the respect he deserves? You know, he is a champion, multiple defenses, and it seems like, you know, everybody's writing him off. You know, obviously Canelo is the veteran, the more experienced fighter, but it seems like Caleb isn't, most people aren't even giving him a chance, or a very small chance at that. Do you feel like that's, you know, driving him at all in camp, or how do you feel about the lack of respect that he's been getting so far?
Well, when it comes down to Caleb, you know, Caleb's in a space where he doesn't need anybody to believe in him. He's been on this road a long time with that very same sentiment that nobody was believing in what he could do. And now, this is no different. When he fought Uzataki, they expected him to get knocked out by the 6th round. He put Uzataki down twice. And he's the world champion, has been the world champion for the last 2 years, and has fought everybody that they put in front of him. That was a mandatory defense. Right. And he's dominated. Here's the thing I want you to remember. In the last 4 fights that Caleb has had, Uzataki put him down twice. Mike Lee, I think he put Mike Lee down 4 or 5 times. Fitzenbus, they made him stop the fight with Fitzenbus, right? The last fight was the only fight that he needed to stop the guy, and he hurt his hand in the 4th round. Right. So you're dealing with a guy who has all the tools. Now, you would have never known by watching that last fight that his hand was hurt for 8 rounds of that fight. But he still got the job done.
And outboxed him beautifully.
Easy. He won every round.
Beautifully.
Every round. Easy.
So that is a matchup that the fans and the public have wanted. And I mean, Deontay Wilder says it all the time: one face, one name, one champion. And so that's what we will get here November the 6th.
Yes, you will.
That'll be a great one. So you're getting started with that one. Moving on to November 20th, like we were just speaking on,
right.
Shawn Porter
right.
and Terence Crawford for the WBO Welterweight Championship of the World. And then just announced this week, move on to December the 5th. Gervonta Tank Davis and your fighter, Rolando Rolly Romero. That is a very intriguing matchup with two heavy hitters.
Yes,
Two heavy hitters at the 35-pound division. Please talk to us about that fight.
Man, listen. I started working with Rolly a couple years ago now, and him and his trainer, Bullet, was convincing me of their style, convincing me of their fight techniques, and I bought in. The things that they said make perfect sense to me, and what it ended up happening was they allowed me to be part of this journey, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna help you get to a title fight. And what ends up happening is now you got two guys, both got bricks in both hands, and we're gonna get to see who got the bigger hammer. At the end of the day, what it boils down to, it's been a while since we've seen Tank in the ring with a guy who really got bricks in his hands. Rolly got bricks in both. We're going to be able to test him that night to see if he can handle it.
Now, Gervonta obviously has bricks in both hands as well. Talk to us about being able for Rolly to not just land the punches he needs to land, but avoid those punches that will be coming, because very few times, if any, has Rolly ever stepped in the ring with somebody who has the same knockout power that he carries. So what do you think he has to do in order to be able to avoid those? Because it's going to be, both ways.
Well, here's something that I want you guys all to hear. And if you're a boxing trainer at any point, you understand something. They use the word awkward all the time. That guy's an awkward fighter. Rolly's not a boxer alone. Rolly is a fighter. He's in there fighting. So you've always heard in street fights, boxers have problems, right? Well, you're going to see in that ring not only a guy who can box and Rolly, but a guy who has no problem fighting for 12 rounds. And when you fight, the punches come from all different angles that you're not used to seeing, because he's awkward and not the orthodox style of fighting. So you're going to see a guy who throws punches from weird angles, and it's hard for me to believe Gervonta's seen that.
Well, Coach, the fans can't wait for that one. All three fights, phenomenal fights. I just want to say congratulations for all your success.
Thank you so much.
I know you recently stepped away from the UNLV track, and much success that you had there, accomplished everything you could. So I just want to congratulate you and wish you the best moving forward.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
Hey,
Coach.
look forward to those fights. They're going to be amazing.